Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, May 21st at 7:20 in the morning, and I've made my annual pilgrimage over to Fishing Lake Road in search of the Prairie Warblers once again. Prairie Warblers are quite rare in Ontario. There's only a few locations really where you can readily see them. So I'm here today. It's clear, cool at 7 degrees, and windier than I had hoped. When I left it was fairly calm, but on the way over here it seemed to get breezier and breezier, so that may have a little bit of an impact on our search for them today, but hopefully the winds will die down a little bit as we walk along. Well, there are quite a few birds singing, but this wind is really making it quite cool. I should have dressed warmer, but again, it was quite calm when I left. Well, I just picked up a Cerulean Warbler singing, pretty well where I heard one last year, I believe. So that's a good one to get. They're quite rare as well, and there's small populations of them in the local area. Frontenac Park is well known for having a good number of them there, but they're not an easy bird to see elsewhere. So despite the winds, it was still singing. Occasionally you'll get brief respites from the wind, and it just makes all the difference in the world. It feels a little bit warm when the wind stops, but it's just a fairly persistent northeast wind like we've been getting so much this spring. We had beautiful warmth for the last few days, and now we've been infiltrated by this strong cold wind again. So after 30 minutes or so, we're up to 24 species, which isn't too bad actually, considering the conditions. When you get into these protected zones behind these knolls, it's quite nice. But up on the top of the ridges, it's quite windy. Okay, I think we're coming up into the more typical Prairie Warbler habitat here on the higher ridges. Haven't heard any yet. I do have golden-winged warblers, but no prairies just yet. Okay, at 8 o'clock, I just heard my first prairie warbler up over the ridge ahead. So hopefully we'll hear a few more and see some up there. Also hearing a few more golden wings now. Golden-winged warbler singing there. Prairie still over the hill. I see the golden wing now. There's the prairie. Not sure if you'll be able to hear that. Oh, he's moved further back now. There's the prairie singing again, just over this rock ridge here. There he goes. A high buzzy note repeated quickly. There he goes. And again. I like to get out and search for these rare birds as often as I can because you never know from one year to the next whether you're going to see them ever again. Small populations like this can blink out in a matter of years, so you got to enjoy them when you can. It's interesting how the last few visits here over the last few years, I've seen thousands of ticks along this road, and so far today I haven't seen one. And now it is cool out, but that usually doesn't deter ticks to my knowledge. I've walked through the grass a few times here on the side of the road where they're often just hanging off the grasses, and I haven't seen one, but maybe that'll change. I've come a fair ways along the road now since the first prairie warbler sighting, and I'm hearing another one here, so I assume that's another bird. Well, the SD card on my GoPro filled up, so I'm back to using my phone now. So the sound isn't going to be as good. I don't have any wind protection on the phone. But the second prairie warbler is singing back here on the ridge from a small area of common junipers, just like the first one was. It was sitting in common junipers and singing too. Often they'll come out and sing in other shrubs as well, but today they seem to be sticking to the common junipers, maybe because of the wind. Just singing in that clump of common juniper there. And he did come out and sit in this little sumac, so I got some pictures of him there as well. I think I got some pretty good pictures. So, despite the wind, it's turned out to be a pretty good morning here. Have managed to see at least 2 prairie warblers, quite a few golden-winged warblers, a number of other warblers. Haven't seen or heard a blue-winged warbler yet. That's another one that you sometimes get here that's fairly rare. So quite active despite the winds, and now it's warming up at least. I've got some birds here that look like blue-winged warblers, and yet they're singing golden-winged warbler songs, which, I mean, can happen with this hybrid complex we're dealing with. So yeah, I think we've got blue-winged warblers. I've gotten some pictures of them. They won't be very good pictures, but they should be record shots at least, from quite a distance. But hopefully we'll have proof. And the day gets better as we go along. It's getting warmer. And the winds might be dying back a little bit, hard to say. Okay, it's just past 9:30 and we've got over 41 species of birds right now. And I think I'm going to head back. We've gone over 3 kilometers in, so we got the same distance back, obviously. And the day is getting better, it's getting warmer, and I think the breeze is dying down a little bit. But as it turns out, it's been a really prosperous morning here. Got lots of good birds. Some hopefully record pictures of the birds that I'm looking at. Just had a strange occurrence. I was walking down the road and all of a sudden 3 American woodcocks flew up right before me. I hadn't even seen them as I approached. And I have a feeling I must have been near a nest site or something, because one of them went on and tried to do distraction displays on the ground and whatnot. So interesting, never had that happen before, at least that many of them. Well, the day's getting nicer and nicer. Still a bit breezy, but warming up, probably about 15 degrees right now, it feels like. Far cry from this morning at 7 when I was actually quite cold out here. So I've only got a short sleeve shirt on under this felt coat here. Now I'm getting warm, but it's nice to be warm, especially in late May. Okay, it's 11 o'clock and I'm finished my walk here at Fishing Lake Road. That was a really good outing. Saw lots of good birds, including the ones I came here for primarily, so can't complain. It's beautiful out now, probably about 14 or 15 degrees, I think. So I had to take my coat off, I was getting too warm. And we walked about 6 kilometers or 6.5 kilometers in total along here from this parking lot they have here, partway along the road. And a beautiful little area of countryside that you go through. In the end, I've got around 50 species. That may change when I look at the list more carefully and see if I've missed anything. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that walk here to search for the prairie warblers once again.